Welcome back to the Film Library, a Kanopy podcast where we talk about the best Kanopy has to offer. That means movies, documentaries, TV shows, and more. All you need is your library card. I'm Kristy Puchko, entertainment editor at Mashable.com.
And I'm Jeff Rauseo. I create content online about movies, and I just love talking movies. So Kanopy's theme for this month is acting in April. So Kristy and I will be celebrating cinema that speaks to incredible acting performances. We've each picked 5 titles from Kanopy's catalog that may or may not have won Oscars, but to us are legendary.
Before we get into our favorites, there's a little icebreaker. Which actor, Jeff, do you think never got the credit they deserved, and what role proved that?
Yeah, I'm going to go with my guy Willem Dafoe, because I honestly thought he had won something, right? You'd think Willem Dafoe, everything that he's been in. 4 Academy Award nominations, nothing. 4 Golden Globes, nothing. 5 Screen Actors Guilds, nothing. And I feel like Spider-Man, Florida Project, The Lighthouse, Boondock Saints, Mississippi Burning, which are both on Kanopy, all the Wes Anderson work that he's done. I mean, just his catalog is actually insane. Like his IMDb would take you 3 weeks to read through. He's in so many things and he's always incredible. And I guess I had just assumed that he had received that high level of recognition. I know he has, the popularity and people know who he is, but I can't believe that he's never won one of these major awards. And I would have, honestly, for the Florida Project, to me, that was like one of the most human movies ever. And I just forgot that was Willem Dafoe. Like, he was just the hotel manager. Like, I didn't see anybody else but a guy who lived in Florida and managed this little motel. Like, he completely took that on. And I mean, he does that in The Lighthouse as well. He just did it in Nosferatu. I mean, he's one of my favorite guys to watch on screen, but the man deserves to win one of these. Give him one. Give him a Screen Actors Guild or something. We'll work up to the Academy Awards, but I think he's got to win something.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's overdue. I got to interview him recently for Mashable for Nosferatu, and it was really fun to say to his face, like, you have 4 Academy Award nominations. Like, he is exemplary. There's no one like Willem Dafoe. And I said to him when I got to talk to him, which was surreal, honestly, was just like, I love watching a Willem Dafoe performance because I never know where it's going to go.
Yeah.
And that's actually, my pick is similar in that I feel like she's twice nominated for Academy Award, has never won, and I feel like her best performances have been woefully ignored. I'm talking about Joan Cusack, who was nominated in 1989 for Working Girl and then nominated in 1998 for In and Out. She's phenomenal in both films, but in my mind, she deserved the Oscar for Addams Family Values. And I say that not just because Debbie Jelinski is an icon, in a I support women's rights, but I also support women's wrongs kind of way. But also that it's such a smart, as a kid, I just thought she was the most beautiful woman around and thought she was so funny when she kept trying to kill the Addams family. But as an adult, I recognize it's actually a very sharp parody of the femme fatale Hitchcock blonde, and I'm obsessed with it. And I also love her from Toys. I love that Joan Cusack, you can throw into a role and she's like, I got this, I'm going to go. And if you want to experience the wonders of Joan Cusack, In and Out is on Kanopy right now. So treat yourself.
I need to watch that one because she is one of my, when she showed up in, I think the first thing I probably saw her in was School of Rock, which I guess that dates me. Now you know exactly how old I am. But School of Rock, I love School of Rock, and she was so funny and so good in that. And then as I started seeing her pop up in more, I was like, I need more of this. I feel like she needs to be in more stuff too. I feel like I haven't seen her in as much. Maybe that's a personal choice by her, but I want more Joan Cusack because she is really sharp, really funny. Not in a Kristen Wiig over the top way, but just really smart, sharp humor. I love her. I want more.
School of Rock also on Kanopy.
It is.
So today we're going to be talking about actors and performances that really knocked us out. I'm going to kick it off in 1962 with Whatever Happened to Baby Jane. This is a camp classic. It's a psycho-biddy thriller, which if you're unfamiliar with that term, it basically means it's about old ladies who have some mental struggles, let's say. In this particular case, it's Bette Davis and Joan Crawford playing sisters who have hated each other for decades. One was a vaudevillian star, one was a movie star, and now they're trapped in the same house driving each other up a wall. And it is just it is so decadent and weird and juicy. And these women leave like they eat the scenery, they chew it up, they leave no scraps. It is just such a phenomenal movie that the first time I watched it felt like impossible that it existed. Like it's so unhinged in the best possible way. And also I feel like once you watch it now, you're going to be like, "Oh, now I get that reference. Now I get that reference," because it's deeply seminal. And if you want to connect it to a new film, if you love The Rule of Jenny Penn, which came out recently starring
How
yeah,
was that?
I do love The Rule of Jenny Penn.
Okay.
It's similarly like about two people who are older and who are like having at each other. But the performances in this are very theatrical and very big, but within the context of the world of the film, it completely makes sense and it's just deeply riveting.
I love that. Yeah, I actually have a huge blind spot for like the Joan Crawford stuff in particular, and it kills me because my wife and I watch Drag Race all the time, and they constantly reference it, and we're like, we need to watch these movies. We are not under. I understand that she's like a camp legend, and these movies sound incredible, and we need to sit down and do them all because I haven't seen them. So another one to add to my list.
I love that.
I don't know if this movie is considered campy. It's supposed to be a horror movie. But it's mystery, and I don't know. I don't really know what genre to put it in. I guess that's Darren Aronofsky, but Mother from 2017, which blew me away when I saw it because I had never seen anything like that. And I don't know if I ever will see anything like that again. But got Jennifer Lawrence in the cast in this. I mean, you got Jennifer Lawrence with Javier Bardem and Ed Harris, Michelle Pfeiffer. Kristen Wiig shows up. I just mentioned her. She's in this too. Like the cast is crazy, but Jennifer Lawrence and what she goes through in that, I don't know if I think she even says this in some interviews. Like I couldn't make another movie for a little bit after that movie. It's just intense, and it's all on her. Like she's the one driving this whole thing. She doesn't get a break the whole movie. I swear, she might be on screen for every single moment of that movie, and it's absolute insanity. I can't imagine what she went through doing it, but yeah, I give huge props to people like that who like literally like you had to dive in head first and sell that or it wasn't going to work at all. And some people say it didn't work, and I totally get that because it's one of those that I think requires a couple viewings, but I loved that. I liked her before, and then I was like, "Oh, okay. She fully committed on this one, and now I'm all in. Like Jennifer Lawrence, you're a superstar." That was insane and incredible. Which I have another movie on this list that reminds me of that, which we'll get to in a little bit, the performance. But yeah, that one you'll never see anything like it again. I don't know that anybody would make that movie again. It's very unique and very different.
There are big swings and there are huge swings, and then there's
Huge.
Mother.
Yeah. It's a massive. It's home run or you're out. Like it's the biggest swing you could take.
My next pick is also a female actress, also a woman who's going through it. Moonstruck from 1987 stars Cher as a like Brooklyn woman who is married, like she's engaged to a like suitable, appropriate man, the kind of man the parents go, "Yeah, that guy," and then she meets his brother, who is played by Nic Cage. And if you've never seen Moonstruck, I feel like that's all you need to know. But what is so incredible about this movie, it's written by John Patrick Shanley, so it's got that really great like dialogue. He also wrote Doubt, and I know he's written a bunch of plays that are amazing. He also wrote Congo, and listen, I'm not going to get into it, but I will defend Congo until the end of time.
It's fair.
But like the dialogue in this is so great. You really do feel like you're a part of this Brooklyn family. Olympia Dukakis is in it playing her mom, and very famously, this is the one where you hear "snap out of it." It's a bad Cher. I got to work on my Cher. I'm gonna come back to that. No, but but what's so great about this movie is like Cher is a woman who is blossoming under love, and Nic Cage has all this intense energy. And like at the Oscars, it won 3 times. It won Best Screenplay for John Patrick Shanley. It won Best Supporting Actress for Olympia Dukakis, and it won Best Actress for Cher. And like it put Cher, like for anybody that wanted to hate on Cher as being just a singer or just an icon, like Cher is an Academy Award winning actress, and that's because you can watch Moonstruck today and it'll still knock you out flat. Like that movie is just impeccable. It is. I gave it 5 stars on my Letterboxd. I love, 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 love Moonstruck.
Yeah, no, it holds up. I saw it for the first time 6 7 months ago. Criterion Collection Blu-ray, thumbs up. But yeah, Cher. We knew was just we were like, okay, Cher and Nic Cage, and okay, cool, I'm sold. And I think it might be my favorite Nic Cage performance now too. Like I loved him in Raising Arizona, and there's a couple, but I was like, I watched that, and he's so dynamic in that with Cher, that duo and the banter, and oh my god, it was hilarious. My wife and I, that was one of those few movies that we watched, and we were like, yes, we both agree that this is awesome, and we should have watched this a lot sooner. So totally agree. In a similar vein, again, we got a strong female character here, very strong, Miss Tonya Harding, and I, Tonya. So this is Margot Robbie, which to me, when I saw, I was like, I know Tonya Harding and I know Margot Robbie, and those two aren't equaling the same to me. How is she going to pull this off? Because at that point, Margot Robbie is Wolf of Wall Street. Like that's what I know her for. And boy, did she again just dove in and took on Tonya Harding. It was great. Allison Janney won the Academy Award for this movie. It's got Sebastian Stan. It's got Paul Walter Hauser in a smaller role, but he's so good now. So, you'll see him now and be like, I love that guy. It's one of those movies. But yeah, Margot Robbie just playing like totally out of her typecast that she had been in since Wolf of Wall Street. And that's what I like to see when people take the big risk and nail it. And she was nominated for an Academy Award. Yeah, she probably could have won. It was a tough category, but I love when they take that risk and when they break out and you see somebody and you're expecting one thing and you get, this totally different. All of a sudden you've discovered a new person that you didn't know. Margot Robbie has incredible range. Oh, she can play Tonya Harding. And the movie itself is just really funny, but it's funny. It's sad. It's like, oh, you have empathy for Tonya Harding because of the struggle growing up and what it was like. And like, you're like, oh, I totally get this whole thing by the end. So I thought that was just a great performance by the whole cast. Margot Robbie, though, stood out to me. It's just broke out of her mold. And, from there, obviously she's taken off even further. I mean, she's making as big a movies as you can make now. So good for her. Cause I really was like, yeah, she's just another, she's the girl from Wolf of Wall Street, but she's a lot bigger than that. She's a lot better than that.
I'm gonna take the leap from the Allison Janney thing because in that movie she plays this kind of old lady who has no cares to give and will say whatever she wants to say.
None.
And my next pick is Tea with the Dames from 2018. It is a documentary that focuses on some famous dames of cinema and stage, including Judi Dench, Eileen Atkins, Joan Plowright, and Maggie Smith. And they gather for tea and allow cameras to kind of capture them talking about their life and its career rivalries. And I love that this movie came out as long ago as it did. And I, on my TikTok, frequently see people clipping it because these women were just huge in their like reach in not just British theater but also film across the pond and not I'm personally a huge Judi Dench fan, but it's such an interesting thing to watch them talk about their lives and to watch them talk about their careers and to watch them talk about how their lives were impacted by how they were viewed, how they were cast, what was frustrating, what was exhilarating. And like they come at it from a perspective of like, if you talk to a lot of actors who are in the middle of their careers or the beginning of the careers, they are deeply afraid to say anything that might negatively impact their careers. These women are not just established. They are dames of the order. No one can hurt them. Judi Dench can make cats and we all still love her. It's fine. And so this is just such a really touching movie. And like, not all of these women are around anymore, but it's just such an iconic thing. Like it's something I watch, and I also love the Golden Girls. So there's definitely my American brain jumps to that. But there's just something so like treasured about being allowed into that space and like listening to them talk about their experiences because like they are Resign, not in a way of like giving up, but in a way of being like, I'm looking back and I am at peace with a lot of the decisions I made because I feel good about where I am. And like, there's something really cathartic about that.
Mm. Yeah, no, and it is. I mean, it's something even I do now. There is something nice about just being like, you know what, whatever. It's in the past. I made those decisions, and I am where I am because of those. And yeah, I think I need to watch this one because I know we love Maggie Smith in this house. I could listen to Maggie Smith go on. Her sassy her Downton Abbey character kills my wife, and we know her as McGonagall. We grew up on that, so it was like she's been in my childhood from the start. And Judi Dench, actually have a little signed 4x6 picture that she sent me.
Hey.
I used to send stuff out in the mail and be like, will you send me an autograph? She sent one back all the way from the UK. She's
I
very
love
cool.
that.
Yeah, personalized it and everything. It's a little picture of her from James Bond. So I do love her too. She's great in those movies.
Get you and your wife a little cup of tea and you'll just be having tea with the dames.
I think we need to. Yeah, it sounds like a lot of fun. Again, Maggie Smith, give me 90 minutes of her just talking. I'm good. I don't need any plot. Just let Maggie Smith cook. But similarly, I don't know if Chris Farley is necessarily Maggie Smith, but
direct
in my
line.
world,
It's a direct line.
In my world of comedy, he is a dame. He is a knight. And I love that movie. I Am Chris Farley's documentary, basically, as it says, all about Chris Farley. And so this isn't necessarily a performance, but like you said, it's a celebration of Chris Farley and what he was in a very short 33 years. And I watched it recently. I'm 32, about to be 33, and I was like, damn, he did a whole lot. I need to speed up here because this man shoved a whole lot into 33 years. But I also loved the celebrations, like the people that are in this. I mean, you could tell how much he was loved as a performer because they got everybody. You have Adam Sandler, David Spade, Mike Myers is in it, Dan Aykroyd, Lorne Michaels shows up, Bob Saget's in it, John Lovitz. I mean, the whole cast is in this thing. And I love Chris Farley's movies. It's a shame that there aren't more of them. It's nice that I can at least watch SNL skits on reruns and see him. And, you know, Adam Sandler, the song that he sung, I forget where he did it, but he might have done it on SNL. He did the Chris Farley like tribute song. And I was like, you're going to make me cry. I'm not going to cry in an SNL episode, but it's close because it's just it's another thing that really makes you reflect and like, man, this guy was full of energy and did all this in such a short time and then was gone. There's like a real mortality behind it that I'm like, I need to, take care of myself and make sure I'm in a good space. And it's such a sad thing with a lot of comedians. But the fact that all these guys came out and all these women and they all talked about him, it was like, I think it was a really like healing experience for everybody who participated in the documentary too. And you can you feel that as you watch it. It's a really powerful. It's just 90 minutes. It's a real quick one. It's not like a series or anything, just one 90-minute documentary. But if you love Chris Farley and you love comedy, especially of that time period, I think it's a must see. And then you can go watch Tommy Boy and Black Sheep and all the other great stuff and just celebrate the man because he was great.
Yeah, with a renewed appreciation. What I really like about that documentary is that I feel like the way other people talk about his performances is just really beautiful. Like one of the things they talk about is how he had a very negative self-image, but something that I like, he was so much more than, you know, fat guy in a little coat. There was something about the vulnerability in him that I felt like we all just loved him and gravitated to him, not just because he was funny, but because he was just a ray of light.
Yeah,
and like
just full of life.
Yeah, and I think the documentary really does capture that.
Yeah, no, you can feel the love in that from everybody who ever like interacted with him. It was like, this guy he was the best, and it sucks that he's not here. You can feel that.
I'm gonna switch gears a bit. For my next one, I've had a lot of like female energy and like, you know, lady vibes. For my next one, I'm going Glengarry, Glen Ross. Which has just a stacked cast of incredible male performers, including Al Pacino, Jack Lemmon, Alec Baldwin, Ed Harris, Alan Arkin, Jonathan Pryce. And it's like it's about like real estate agents and how they're really competitive, which sounds deeply uninteresting. But David Mamet wrote the script, so it's very intense. And something that I love about this, that like I knew this movie is like a powerhouse movie. I knew the performances are amazing because I mean that cast, like how could it not be? but I recently listened to Al Pacino's memoir, Sonny Boy, on Libby. And the cool thing, first of all, I love an audiobook, but second of all, it is read by Al Pacino. So it's very cool because you essentially just have like Al Pacino like tell you about his life. And, like he tells stories about like his grandfather and the whole thing. And he talks about this movie and how he was so excited to work with Jack Lemmon. He talks about how he was so excited to work with Jack Lemmon. And what's interesting is there was a period of time where when Al was nominated for Best Actor Oscar for Serpico in 1974, Jack Lemmon won for Save the Tiger, which I will be honest is a movie I have never heard of before. But now they're starring opposite each other. And it was like they start opposite each other, and Pacino got nominated again for this. He lost again because Unforgiven came out and people love Gene Hackman. But it was so interesting because in the memoir, he's not really focusing on that. The Oscars honestly were very stressful to Pacino in a way of just like, I don't know what to do with all of this. This is all very confusing to me. But he talks about like how much he enjoyed doing this production, and then years later got asked to come back and do it on Broadway in the Jack Lemmon role, which is a very different character. So it's really fun to me because like now watching this movie, it's not just like, wow, these performances are incredible, but like I have this built-in history where I'm watching Pacino, who I do think is one of the most incredible actors who has ever lived. Look at Dog Day, look at Godfather, look at The Devil's Advocate. I said what I said. And like I just truly love watching him because he has this energy that is just unflappable. And to watch him like grow and mature where he goes from one role to another, I think is really fascinating. So watching it with like the idea that like, oh, he's going to go on to play that part, I think is also just really kind of intellectually exciting.
Yeah, no, I love a Pacino movie. It's actually, you just kind of blew my mind that like I've never heard of that Jack Lemmon Save the
Save
Tiger?
the Tiger, yeah.
Serpico, come on.
Right?
This is what always blows my mind when I go back and look at who actually won things versus the movie you associate with a year. But yeah, Pacino's the best, and I think that's one of those movies that I do this a lot online. I have a lot of younger followers, younger than me. You know, you're like Gen Zs. And I'm like, no, watch this movie. Yeah, I know it's about a real estate office. Like, yes, I know that sounds like it sucks, but seriously, you need to watch it. It's all about like the script and the performances, and
that coffee is for closers.
It's gonna grab you, and you're gonna remember it. Just sometimes you have to ignore the one-liner synopsis and just dive into something, and that's a great example. That's such a good one, and that's what they're doing that on Broadway now again. I'm a big Bill Burr guy, and Bill Burr's in it, I think.
And Kieran Culkin, and I'm forgetting who else. Yeah,
it's quite the story.
Yeah,
that's a timeless, and Pacino's timeless, and you know, from one timeless actor to another. I have Denzel Washington on my list for a couple movies on Kanopy. You got Fences, which is, I actually believe that's a Broadway play that he just brought to screen, and it very much feels that way too. It's a very unique movie. I mean, it feels small. It feels like you're watching a play that was shot, but like shot with movie cameras, not like Hamilton Live or something. Like it's very different. I don't know how to describe that feeling, but it's this very small set, and it's so powerful. Viola Davis in it. I mean, insane chemistry between the two of them. And then we have Flight, also on Kanopy, another insane Denzel movie where he can literally do anything. Was he nominated for that one? I should have looked this up beforehand. But
I've actually never seen Flight.
Flight's
I know the poster.
Really interesting. It's tough because it's kind of one of those where like, is he a bad dude or is he a good dude? And it's kind of like just one of those movies where they put somebody on trial.
Okay, so what's the premise of that one? He's a pilot?
He's a pilot, and he's an alcoholic. He's drinking, and it's kind of like a Sully thing almost, where like he makes a decision that goes against what maybe he was told to do, but he ends up saving people. He like flips it. If I'm remembering right, I think he flips the plane upside down and does some crazy stuff, but it works and he saves everybody. But he's like put on trial as like a, FAA or whatever, kind of what they did to Sully when that happened. Like, why'd you do this and that? And it's like, but I saved everyone, regardless if I was drunk or what. Everyone's alive. So like, shouldn't we all win here? Like, yes, I shouldn't have done that, but the outcome was okay. So it's just one of those, like really just a character study of him as this pilot, and it's got Don Cheadle and John Goodman. It's got a great cast with Melissa Leo's in it. It's a solid movie, but I just love Denzel. Those are the ones that aren't campy. Obviously, there's a million others. Like, I literally would not be sitting here doing this without Denzel Washington, because I started the first Blu-ray I ever bought was Training Day, because I just wanted to buy. My collection started because I wanted every Denzel Washington movie.
Oh, I love that.
And that turned into 3,000 movies later and creating content online.
This isn't it's not a challenge. I'm just curious about our shared taste levels. Do you own Virtuosity?
No.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't either.
No, I don't.
But I will say it is a movie. It's with Russell Crowe, and it's about Denzel Washington fighting, like, Russell Crowe is like an AI serial killer made out of like glass and nanobites or something. It's nonsense, but it is one that I have watched a lot. It was before Russell Crowe was very famous. So when you watch it, you're like, that tracks.
That's one of the few I haven't seen from him now, but I mean, he's why I'm here. My parents' cat that they got when I was a teenager is still alive, is Denzel. They got a black cat and I named him Denzel, and they got a white cat and I named him Clint because of Clint Eastwood. And my dad was like, that's super cool. I'm glad we did that. And Denzel is still there. And every time I go to my parents' house, I get to see Denzel. So I was obsessed with him and still will watch pretty much anything he's in. So Virtuosity sounds like it needs to be on my list. I don't care how insane it is. I'm not
gonna promise it's a good movie.
That's fine. If Denzel's in it, it's all good with me. I'll sit through it.
It's one that I love deeply, and no one can convince me that it's not cinema. For my final pick, I wanted to go with something that I thought was not only a good performance, but was such a good performance that, like, the world wasn't ready. So I went with The Bad Seed from 1956. It is a black and white horror movie that is based on a hit Broadway play. It centers on the Penmark family, in which a doting mother named Christine, played by Nancy Kelly, is shaken to realize that her 8-year-old daughter, Rhoda, played by Patty McCormick, may have murdered a classmate. So, like, the plot is very intense. There's not actually a lot of violence on screen. It's all off screen, but it is that thing where it plays on your own imagination, so it still feels very horrific. And it's interesting because you talk to certain people, they will swear to you that certain things are in the movie that are not actually in the movie. But very famously, this movie was considered so disturbing, and the director, Mervyn LeRoy, actually brought over a lot of people from the Broadway cast, including Nancy Kelly, who played the mom, including Patty McCormick, who plays Rhoda, who is this like little blonde girl with like a little pretty, I'm assuming pink dress. It's black and white, but I'm assuming it's a little pink dress, and she has like little blonde hair and like plaits. And then Elaine Eckhart, who plays the mother of the child who died, and gives this monologue that like made my heart beat so hard that I was like concerned for myself. They all come back and they all reprise their roles in this movie. And Patty, they're all amazing. They're heartbreaking and interesting. Patty is so scary that the end of the movie had to be changed from the end of the play, because they were afraid audiences would be too disturbed. They were afraid that censors would be like, you cannot release this movie. Like, Broadway is one thing. People can't handle this. And I'm not going to tell you how they changed it. Watch the movie, guess, then look it up. But I will also say, this is the rare movie that has a curtain call at the end, where literally they're like, so-and-so played this person. And then they have her come out, and she gets spanked by her on-screen mother as like a jokey, like, ha 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 ha, just to release the tension of how disturbing her performance is. They needed to literally be like, it's okay, she's just a kid, we're having a good time, it's a show.
I love that. I actually saw I had never heard of this movie. I went to see The Monkey in the movie theater, and I went to a draft house, and they do like a little pre-show, and they showed The Bad Seed like clips in a trailer, and I was like, what the hell is this? But it was awesome. I immediately was like, where can I buy this? Where can I watch this? It's on my watch list right now because it looked insane. So I'm glad I'm glad that you loved it. This is a glowing review of what I already thought was going to be right up my alley. It sounds incredible, and I'm also obsessed with like what was disturbing and that the way that slider has moved so far. We talked about Mother, like it has moved so far in 50, 60 years. Like this is pre-Psycho, and you couldn't even flush a toilet on, screen. Like I can't imagine. I kind of want to be there if I could live a moment. I like want to be in these audiences when people freak out in the 50s, but with my like 2025
sensibilities.
Brain. Yeah, I just want to sit and watch people freak out because I'm obsessed with like those older movies that push the limits. I think it's so cool. So speaking of an older-ish movie, it's older. It's 50. God, it's 50 years old at this point. Is my math right? 40 years old.
Never asked me to do math without a calculator. I
no,
refuse.
not live. Can't
How
do that
dare you?
live. This is, they tell us we never have a calculator in our pocket, and I'm glad we do. That's what my teachers always said. I would have been useless without it. But Possession, 1981. This, talk about disturbing and pushing the limits. I don't think anybody in 1981 was ready for this movie. I still think people have a hard time with it now. I watched this recently with my wife because everybody said you need to see this. You love horror movies, you love crazy stuff like this. Watch this. And Isabella Adjani and Sam Neill have probably the messiest divorce of any film ever. It's the most insane. It's none of it really even makes sense in many ways. There's a doppelganger that gets involved. Anna, Isabella Adjani's character, goes completely nuts in this famous scene in the tunnel while she's also like having a miscarriage, or you don't even really know what's happening. It's just kind of happening and you're just watching it, and it feels like a true, it's horrific. You're like, I shouldn't be seeing this. This should be maybe private. Like, you guys keep this behind closed doors, maybe. This is a messy situation. And yeah, we filmed it, and for 2 hours you're going to sit and watch this. And like, I just keep looking at Sam Neill and going Jurassic Park, but now I don't anymore because I can't look at him the same way after I saw this movie. I mean, it's incredible performances by both of them. Isabella Adjani, I mean, this is one of the greatest, if you ask people, one of the greatest just kind of all in performances, regardless of genre, that anybody's ever given. I mean, the way she contorts her body and just reacts to certain things in this movie, it's just like otherworldly. And it's a hard one to recommend, I guess. But if you like weird, if you want to get outside the box, and if you want something that's probably going to require you to watch it 2 or 3 times before you start to come around to, hey, what's happening and like the themes here, and it just jumps in too. Like, I was kind of expecting, not having seen it, I was like, well, we'll get some sort of backstory. It just kind of jumps into chaos right away. And you're like, this is minute 5. I have an hour and 55 minutes to go, and I'm in complete chaos already. It's just that kind of movie, which is why I mentioned this when I brought up Mother. It's just like one of those. It's just like 5-10 minutes in, you're like, oh, they're not going to let go, and they're going to keep escalating. And this is going to just keep going all the way to the right, insane craziness until we finish. And then it's one that you just sit there and you go, oh all right, okay. Do we even talk about that? Like, we kind of just looked at each other. My wife literally looked at me and said, what the hell just happened? And I was like, I'm not sure, but I feel like I liked it. Like, I was entertained, but I don't really know what happened either. It's a real mind-blowing movie, but one that if you're really into that kind of thing, it's definitely not mainstream, but if you want to get weird, Possession's a good one to get weird. And it's worth seeing alone for Isabel Adjani's performance. It's insane. It's over the top, and it's one of the craziest things on film.
I love that. What a list. What a crazy time.
It's a crazy list.
Well, we had everything from Oscar winners to Oscar should have ones. We'll have all of our picks in the show notes and on Kanopy's Letterboxd HQ account. If you're inspired to give any of these a look, they're all on Kanopy, which has no ads and no subscription fee. You don't need a credit card, just a library card. Kanopy is available through your public and academic library. Stay tuned for our next episode. We'll be back twice a month with new episodes highlighting the best of Kanopy's catalog of 30,000 plus titles. Go to www.kanopy.com to start streaming today through participating libraries and universities. As for us, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss future episodes where we'll dive into more must-watch movies from Kanopy's collection. And if you enjoyed today's discussion, Leave us a review or share the episode with a fellow film lover. It really helps. And you can keep up with us and Kanopy on social media. I'm the Kristy Puchko on Instagram, and on Blue Sky and Letterboxd, just search for Kristy Puchko. KristyPuchko.
And I am Jeff Rauseo, and you can find me on pretty much every social media platform and Letterboxd. Again, just search my name. It's JEFFRAUSEO. I think this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship.